Hi everyone, thanks for choosing Stats All Day with Dr. O'Day. Today we are going to tackle how to run an independent samples t-test using SPSS. Please make sure to hit that like and subscribe if this video is helpful to you. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If there's any content that would be helpful for you to see, please reach out as well. So here's a data file where we examined attitudes toward Black Lives Matter, toward protesting, and toward just motivations for people to actually confront racial prejudice. And in this particular study, we asked them, how much should white people peacefully protest, aggressively protest, gain status to protest, call upon representatives to protest? So how much should white people do that? How much should people of color do that? And then how much should just they themselves do that? So how much did they feel like they themselves should be protesting inequality in the United States? And so let's just say that I want to examine, are people more endorsing of people of color peacefully protesting or more in favor of white people peacefully protesting? So for that, because it's the same participants reporting on both of those, and they filled out the exact same items, except we only changed, whether they were reporting for a white person, a person of color, or for themselves, I'm going to run a repeated measures t-test to compare their perceptions of white people versus people of color peacefully protesting. To do this, I'm going to go to Analyze, and I'm going to click Compare Means. And here I'm going to run a paired samples t-test. Now, I call it a repeated measures t-test. Paired samples, it's the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom where those variables were. And so again, I'm examining their perceptions of white people peacefully protesting versus people of color peacefully protesting. I could click my options here. We're not going to worry too much about anything there. And now we can go ahead and click OK and run the analysis. So what we're given here is we get right off the bat, we're getting means and standard deviations. So it's actually looking like there's not too much of a difference here, where people are saying that white people should peacefully protest. So this was on a 1 strongly disagree to 9 strongly agree scale. So it does look like people are generally in favor of both white people and people of color peacefully protesting systemic inequality in the United States. And it doesn't look like those are very different. So now we're going to come down here. Don't worry about this one. We can talk about this box in another video. But for right now, we're interested in, do these two means differ from one another? And so we're going to come down here and we're going to look at our t statistic. And our t value is negative 2.67 here. Now, we start to get, I've said before, we start to get excited somewhere around 2 to 2.5. So this is probably going to be a significant T. And lo and behold, this is a significant T value. So it does look like people are actually slightly more in favor of people of color peacefully protesting than they are white people peacefully protesting. But this is a fairly small difference between those two. And the reason that it's significant is probably because it's a fairly high-powered study. We had 224 people in this, and it's a within subjects analysis because people are reporting for both of these. So that's probably why this is significant, but that is a pretty small effect. We don't want to oversell that effect. If we're looking at this, that's a difference of about 0.2, and our standard deviation is 2.5. So I mean the Cohen's d here, that's about 0.1 standard deviations apart difference there. And so this is not a very large difference, but we would say based on the statistics here that this is a statistically significant difference. Well, that's all we have for today. Please reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, if this video was helpful for you, please support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe.